Hello. Welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate and Stuff. How you guys doing on this wonderful Friday?
Fantastic. Thank you for having us. I'm right
Oh,
in
you're
the middle
welcome.
of texting a buddy right now. I've mentioned him on the show, but he is like a former, he's a vet. He was in the Air National Guard, got into house flipping. He's working with a company called Ryan Homes as a project manager. And he wanted to start doing flips, but
By
now he's,
himself?
yeah, by him, like his own flips,
Okay.
which he's done one or two, but his dad's involved. His dad's like a big, news guy for like public relations and stuff, really well known guy. So anyway, he literally was calling me during the carrot meeting. And I was like, I can't get on the phone until later. But he came across a person that wants to sell him a house at a discount. So now he's asking me right now, which I'm gonna get on the phone with him today. But he's asking me like, man, how do you do like a contract where I can like sell my rights to like an end buyer? He's like, is that wholesaling? So I'm literally texting with him right now.
Yeah.
So he's not going to flip it. He wants to wholesale it.
If he can, yeah. I don't know. He just sent me the address in a place called Middle River in Maryland. So
Should we run
if
some
he's able to
comps for
get,
him live?
we could. He doesn't have it under contract yet, but he's just asked me about the back end. So I'm going to connect him with our old title company and this lady Holly from Clearview Settlements in Baltimore to help him out. But
Can you run?
that's the in the minute pulse answer. And then besides that, happy to be Friday. Looks like we'll be doing a last minute Arizona trip in a couple weeks. So
Yeah, that'd be
a lot of
exciting to head
exciting
out there.
stuff going on.
Limitless.
Mhm.
What's up with you, Brandon?
Are we running comps? Is that what we're doing, or is that?
Can you
not
do
appropriate?
Maryland comps? I remember this conversation when we tried this before, and you're like, you can only do Florida.
No, I can run comps. You just weren't giving me the address, which made it difficult. No, I use Privy.
Okay.
I mean, I can run comps on Privy, and we can see what Privy says based on what he's paying. I don't know if Carlos wants to give up the address though.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
wait.
not. Maybe not live. Maybe this is something we review if
What
he's
does that
able to
say?
lock this up.
What does that say about our viewers? If you don't want to give out the address, what do you?
It's not a
exactly
trustworthy
are you
bunch of
saying
viewers.
about the viewers that we have. Are you saying they're unscrupulous?
No, I'm not unscrupulous. That's Papa P's country club word of the day, unscrupulous. But I don't have the address itself. I just have the city. But
Oh.
it's more so good karma for my friend. Like we've talked about this on the show before, whether people are talking about their gross revenue or talking about deals they have in the pipeline. Like I tend to lean more like, let's get everything closed. Let's have money in the bank account before we talk about it like it's closed. So mainly that. Our listeners I trust. I don't know if the one gentleman that was mentioned like close to a year ago, he was like Brandon's like piece of shit of the week. I forget the guy's name. What he did, but aside from that guy,
you mean the guy from the other month who said I was a far right wing conservative?
No, not that guy. Which that is hilarious. I hope he's still listening. This is way back in the day. This was like a year ago.
Untouchable. Right?
This was like a year ago. I forget what the guy did. He was either daisy chaining. I can't remember, but aside from those, no. Love our listeners.
Oh, yeah, a lot of daisy chainers.
Mm-hmm. In daisy chaining news, InvestorLift's texting integration went down this week.
Yeah, fuck InvestorLift.
I didn't hear that.
It's coming for everybody.
It is. They use a main account, so and not everyone has their own Twilio account set up. Probably because the majority of the people on that probably don't even know how to fucking do that. So he set it up, which is why they ran into problems. I would imagine. I'm surprised he even did that.
I'm surprised he did it that way too. Yeah. Like he brought that integration in when A2P was a thing. Yeah. And so I think it's weird that he set it up that way.
Seeing the rest of his stuff, I'm sure he just wanted to slap whatever it was together to get it out there. There's something to be said for taking action. And even if it's not wise action, you take it no matter what. Yeah. I saw this thing, right? And I'm trying to find it online. So it was a Tom Bilyeu interview with somebody, and the guy says to have a high-performing team, you need a lion, a fox, a cheetah, and a bear. And you can have a really good performing team, right? So it's something that the CIA did whenever they're interviewing and stuff. They're trying to put together a small knit, high-performing team, from my understanding. And although you don't need all four to be a great team, you need all four to be a high-performing team.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about like your entire company, or is this like an acquisitions department must have these?
No. So listen, because I went down this rabbit hole inside my head. So high performing team, you could look at that in many ways. You could look at it in a micro aspect or a macro aspect. So micro is in you have a project, you need to have these four to have a high performing team,
Sure.
right? But then also, if you think of it in business terms, like you have an executive level, right? You have a CEO, you have a visionary, right? You have a chairman, a CEO, you have an operating officer. So if they're all thinking the exact same way, it might not be good that you wouldn't have a high performing team. So I started looking at it in my own business. But so the lion is organization,
Sure.
right? The fox is very creative, coming up with ideas all the time. The cheetah is all about taking action. Just let's get it done, right? And the bear is all about relationships, essentially. So he did it this way, and he was like, so if you think about it, like you need somebody who's organized, you need somebody who's coming up with the ideas, and you need someone to put them into action. You need someone who's worrying about going along with what they're saying and worrying about how it all fits together, keeping everyone happy and building those relationships. So he said, if you were to ask people, right, in an interview, and you were to say, what is your ideal vacation? Somebody may come and say, that's a very good question. I'm going to make a list of like, well, Hawaii has these benefits. Florida also has beaches, but not as nice, and you don't have mountains. And I've heard Tennessee is really good. I'll have to research that and figure that out.
There's your organized person.
There's your lion, right? And then you have somebody and you say, okay, well, you go up to someone else. You say, what's your ideal vacation? And the person comes up and they're like, man, I don't know. Like, I'll just go anywhere. Where do you want to go? That's a cheetah. Like, I'll go anywhere. What are you going to do when you get there? Well, wing it, man. Like, whatever happens, happens. It's very much a cheetah. So then you interview and you ask another person. You say, well, where do you want to go on your vacation? And that person says, well, I'll go wherever my husband wants to go, whatever makes him happy, or I'll go wherever it's best for the family. That's very much your bear, worried about the relationships, that personability between all the relationships that are going on this vacation, essentially. And then you go to the last person, you say, where you want to go on vacation. And that person's like, well, I've really thought of going here, and I've heard this place is good. And wow, wouldn't it be awesome to go Hawaii and like hike the beaches and like, but at the same time, man, I would love to go sailing down in Florida. Miami Beach is really awesome. And oh my God, wouldn't it be cool if we went and did this? And there's hot springs. Very much you're creative, always with these ideas of what could be cool. But they know what they want to do, but their ideas are always bouncing off the wall. And he said, because in an interview, you can't openly come out and ask people certain things, right?
What animal do you associate the best with?
Yeah, so you can't just say that, and you can't ask them work-related stuff, right? So you ask them these parallel things that allows you to get out the responses in a parallel way of what you're looking for without maybe crossing a line of some way that's not allowed in an interview per se. And I was trying to think of what one I was, and I'm very much a fox the way I look at it. And I was like, man, because I wanted to be a lion. I'm like, I feel like I'm organized, but then I'm like, nah, I'm not fucking organized. Like, I'll start with a list. A list is a great idea. And then I'm like, I like this list.
I kind of like it for this question. I've asked it for you guys really quick, just for all three of us to get our animals for the context of what we might be discussing today. I would take it the next step. So let's say we decided on where we were going on vacation. What kind of animal, I guess, or like what would you do after we got on vacation? Because I already see myself kind of as like a bear, cheetah. Let's say
you're very much a bear. You're very much a bear.
I would say, how do we, like, say we go to, what's a random vacation spot out of Florida? Let's say we went to like Denver, Colorado, somewhere random. One of the first things I would definitely like, all right, like I'm down for whatever, but let's see like what everybody wants to do. I would be a little bit of plan. Some people would want to be like, all right, we need to plan everybody's flight. Let's get it in a Google Doc. What's everybody's itinerary?
That'd be John. So
that's John, yeah.
all we need is a cheetah. So I'll come up with the ideas and be like, oh, this is all cool. We just need the cheetah. Yeah. We need the cheetah to be like, actually go and do it, because we'll all come up. John will make the list. I'll come up with the idea. You'll think about the people. I'm like, that sounds good, everybody. And then we won't make it happen. I'm surprised we got this podcast together. We got a fucking cheetah in the mix.
John is very cheetah.
Yeah.
on that.
So see, he crossed over, and that was the other thing is like I started thinking, well, in some instances,
Yeah, I feel like we can cross because, like, I mean, you are in
But-
ideas, Brendan, but you can assemble, like, you can personicate a lion to a degree.
But do I like to?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's where you're going. And again, this was like I was TikToking. And so this wasn't even the full episode, but I'm very intrigued to watch the full episode. And I started Googling it before I hit the gym. And I was like, and I thought back of like, and there's so many different personality tests. I get it. There's all kinds of stuff. But I really thought back of like when you're building a company and you're building these teams. And again, I'm not talking about a sales team because you probably don't need a salesperson to be every one of these personalities. You probably want a lot of the same type of personalities for
a lot of cheetahs.
A position, right? But when you're trying to build and grow an empire, you need to make sure that you have all of these people. Otherwise, all of my ideas won't go anywhere if I don't have somebody to organize it, if I don't have somebody to put it into action, if I don't have somebody to worry about the relationship aspect. And same thing with you, John, right? Like you can be organized and you can put stuff into action, but wouldn't it be nice to just have somebody grab your list and say, cool, this is what I'm doing? And it's done. And I was like, that's really it. And I started thinking about so CIA and the military and how they start piecing together all these different people to get what they want. If you think back to your friend group in like high school and shit or like college, whatever, like the earliest days or the last days as like close to an adult as you were where you had freedom.
Yeah.
And you really think like you always had that one friend who was like a cheetah just doing wild shit that was like you had to watch out for. You're like, this motherfucker is going to go off the wall tonight. Somebody else trying to plan out, well, where do you guys want to go? We can go here, here, and here. You have the other guy going, wouldn't it be great if we went to Vegas? And then you had the one person trying to keep the peace with all of the different personalities. And I thought of that and I was like, wow, like I had each one of those in my friend group when I was like 18, 19 years old. Anyway.
Okay. It's pretty interesting, though, to relate this to relationships, though, because my wife is very much cheetah. And not that she'll take my list and go with it, but she's very like can be impulsive and just like excited and like that isn't necessarily what is Brittany?
I haven't thought of it. I'd have to think about what she is.
Because it's intriguing to think like what's a dynamic when there's just two of them. Does it work?
Yeah. I feel like she would be very much like organized. She's more organized than me. She's definitely not a cheetah, but she could be a bear. Not in a bad way. See, I can't say that because then she'll be like, what the fuck did you say?
The media will take,
just call me a bear?
The media will just take that little clip.
That one little
Here, this animal savage called his wife.
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
Anyway, I just thought it was an interesting thing, just a little something that I had heard today that I want to dive deeper into. I don't know if there's a test you could take other than asking that vacation question. And the guy obviously made it more eloquent than I tried to hodgepodge here up for this episode. But yeah.
I mean, it's very intriguing too, like to think about it in a company dynamics. I remember in the early days of Investor Fuse when we were, not to say less organized, but just like very go-getters, like maybe less organized. But anyways, it felt like a very much a collaborative effort, and like I could see like those four positions really coming together and making some fun stuff happen. But then I compare that to like when a business starts to get more structured and people like move up in roles in management. I feel like that cohesiveness of like those four people coming together and making great stuff happening, getting harder because of like, honestly, like the best phrase for it is bureaucracy getting in the way.
So it's kind of like as a CEO, like you want your executive assistant, which is very much your lion, right? And then you want your COO, which is probably the majority of that person is going to be a cheetah, probably with some lion built in there. But mostly cheetah. So yeah, I agree you could cross, but I think where you operate in your zone, right? Like I think you have one thing that makes you tick, and it's kind of, and we all talk about it in many ways, right? Like you hear people, especially in real estate, where they're like, find the person that likes to do what you don't like to do.
Yeah.
Find your thing, and you focus on that and hire people to do what you. and it's a different way of saying it.
Yeah.
When he put it this way, I looked at it in these team versions. Like if you have something to launch, like you really should make sure when you're putting together little mini teams to work together that they're all not a bunch of cheetahs or lying. You know, they're not all the same thing.
Mhm.
So any of the personality tests are super interesting. We were talking.
They
about
are, but they all do different.
Another one.
Predictive index. We talked about that, and like I did the Myers-Briggs, you know, and like they're all good in their own way, right? And there's Enneagram, and there's these different ones that help you personally and professionally. But this one more so for teams. Like the other one doesn't relate like how they all work together. This one was like, here's the team aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then what was the disc profile? That's the one you use for like salespeople. WiseHire has that built into their hiring system. I've been trying to figure out how to do that, like how to get that built into the application process.
Yeah.
I think they have like a master account.
So going back to what you were saying, like very much in our industry, like people are like, you know, find the people that like to do what you don't like to do. That was actually what I wanted to talk about in today's episode.
Oh, yeah.
So when you find yourself in a situation, and I was just wanting to kind of gather some best practices of like, if you find yourself in a situation where you have to do things you don't like,
that sucks.
Right. But how do you get through that as like a person knowing it needs to be accomplished?
You just fucking do it.
Okay. That's not the advice that I'm looking for our viewers here in this conversation.
You want to sugarcoat it?
No, not sugarcoat it. But like, I'm curious, like, if there's like ways that somebody just like you always talk about like the best way to like plan your day, right? You do blah blah blah, like this first, this last. Is it always a case of like you should be doing those things that you hate first, get them out of the way? Totally don't procrastinate them.
You're
And the rest of it.
asking the wrong person that because I procrastinate everything.
I know. I'm talking to Carlos here because he knows the answer.
I think like a answer would be the like that's just a standard one is the eat the frog.
Yeah, that's
eat the frog.
Just like there's somebody. No, there's somebody out there that's their thing. Do the hard thing first. It's like a military thing or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like that's the terminology. Eat the frog. Like the very first thing that you do is the most like either the most challenging or the thing that you enjoy the least, and then you're kind of playing with house money the rest of your day.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Me personally, I procrastinate. One example in personal life is packing. Like I'll literally know like a week in advance, like packing. Not to be sexist, but women can do it so much better than men. Like,
no, bro, packing last minute makes sense, dude. That's not anything to apologize for.
I've never been able to do it.
Well, why would you? Because you got to wear shit all the way up until the day you're going. You got to brush your teeth. You got to use soap and cute. Wait, like how else do you fucking pack, bro?
I haven't figured it out. If anybody knows, let us know. Oh, John has an answer.
I mean, I just from personal experience. So Shannon, my wife, does sea turtle research once a week, and she's literally on the beach from like 11 p.m. till 5 a.m. catching green sea turtles and putting trackers on them, right? And so she had to go. Last night, she's not even home yet. She sleeps over on the beach and then comes home later in the day. Anyways. She's literally like, we're taking the kids to dance class, and she's going to drive from dance class off of there, and a friend was going to bring us home because we only have one car. And it's like 10 minutes out the door, and she's like, oh my God, I got to pack. She couldn't find a pair of pants. I'm like, if you had done this at 9 a.m. this morning, then you would have known that you don't have a pair of pants and something needs to be washed.
So 9 a.m. in the same morning is kind of where I'm at, but like I'll pack last minute. But here's the thing. It also comes down to how much accoutrements and stuff that you need to bring with you. I pretty much wear the same thing every day, so it's easy for me. I throw a bunch of black shirts and black pants together. I wear like one pair of socks all week. Boom, throw it in. I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, I
do see like how your lifestyle can make it easier. Because my sister-in-law, she's like, I'll go to like Virginia for the weekend to see what it's like there, where her doctor friend lives, and she's like, but I'll have to ship some stuff up. I'm like, what do you mean ship some stuff up? Just take a carry-on. Like what? She's like, oh, I'll need my like sunscreen lotion and a hat. And I'm just like, how can you not fit all of this?
It gets tough when you're doing climate. So like people from Florida, like it's tough to leave because like I'll leave in sandals and fucking a tank top, and then I get up to Arkansas like that one time and I was free. I was like, well, this was unknown that it was this cold up here this time of year. What the fuck? And I was trying to buy a hoodie in the airport. I was like, I need to get a hoodie. Like, This is not. I was not prepared for this type of weather.
Yeah, I look at that stuff weeks in advance. I understand exactly what I'll need to bring. I have a list. I can't function before leaving without having a giant list to go through.
Very lion. That is one adaptation that I've improved on is packing. I'll still do it last minute. I know for this Arizona trip, I'll do it last minute. A Maryland trip I have for a wedding next month, I'll do it last minute, even if I try to pack early. But one adaptation, which is a lion move, is I do list out stuff that I need just so I don't forget anything. I'm like,
I'll
Like
list
a
out
toothbrush,
stuff
like
I
all that
don't
stuff.
want to forget that I usually forget. I don't make a
Yeah.
list of what I need to bring. I'm like,
yeah,
charger, and I'll write it on like we have a chalkboard wall, just so that way
yeah.
I don't forget those key things. But I'll make a list of what I need. I'll just be like, this is
Yeah,
what
the stuff that I like might
need.
forget, or like that I
Yeah.
want to make sure I have, I make a list. And that's like the last hour before I Uber to the airport, I'm like, all right, if I have it crossed off, it's in my
Mhm.
suitcase.
I also have two of that. I have multiples of everything. So like I have a toiletry bag for the gym and a toiletry bag for travel, and I have all of the same stuff in this bag as I do in this bag as I do in my bathroom at home. So it's like I have multiple razors, multiple toothbrushes, multiple deodorants, multiple Q-tips. You know what I mean? Like
That's
so that makes it
the wolf
easier,
coming
too.
out in here. Like this idea will make my life simpler if
Yeah.
I implement it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't-
100%. Like I have all of the same stuff. It's very Alex Hermosi. I was watching one of his things, and he was talking about how his outfit is what did he call it? He had used an animal term, but it was like he has the perfect a tank top, the right pair of shorts, and the right button down. He's like, I can wear this through like 90% of my day. I can work out in these clothes. I can go eat in these clothes. I could go to work in these clothes. I could travel in these clothes. Like he's like, they're comfortable enough. I could sleep in them. He's like, he tried on all these different things to find this. So packing for him would be extremely
Simple.
easy because he
Yeah.
wears the same shit. Same for me. I wear the same stuff. I don't need to bring multiple shoes. I don't care if they match. I'm just like, I'm bringing
Yeah.
these fucking shoes.
I feel like that's way more like wolf than lion, though.
Where's Wolf?
Yeah, I don't know where Wolf came from.
Sorry, fox. Fox.
Oh, okay.
Fox. My bad. They're
I mean,
close
I
to
read-
lion.
resonate with the wolf. Like, I'm cool with that, but that wasn't a part of the
Yeah.
test that we had talked about. Like, I'll refer to myself as a wolf, a one-man wolf pack.
That's very rhino of you.
We just
Um,
get started inventing our own kind of team personalities. Oh god.
Yeah, I'm with all that, dude. I'm with all that. But anyway, getting back
I saw
to it.
Hermosi doing that for the shoes, which his
Yeah, I
perfect
just saw
shoe
that
is like
today.
the
his Crocs. Yeah, my
He
perfect shoes,
wears
I have
Crocs
a
everywhere.
because they're closed toe, but they're open so you don't sweat. You can wear them to the gym. That you can wear them out to dinner. Pretty much the same thing with his clothes. And he's like,
That
he's gonna
dude
come
goes
out with
into
some-
like 5-star restaurants wearing Crocs.
Mhm.
You can go anywhere you want when you got that much money, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to that level so I could get away with it. I had talked to a buddy of mine who was making fun of me for like a lot of the weird tendencies I have. And he was making fun of me. He's like, that must be like the billionaire in you because, you know, rich people could do all this weird shit and they get away with it. I said, no, bro, it's weird because I'm not rich. I was like, when I get to that level, people would be like, oh, it's because he's rich. He could do it. And it's like the richer you are, the more these weird tendencies start to come out in you. Like the way I do my clothes and like all this stuff. Like a lot of people can't afford to have one of every single individual thing. I have chargers. I have the same monitor setups at home here. So it's literally like I buy 2 or 3 of everything of the exact same thing because it makes my life
easier.
easier. But the
Yeah.
richer you get, the more
Mhm.
those tendencies can be like exasperated, like exaggerated out essentially. And that's what he was making fun of me for. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what I'll be like when I become a billionaire. But it's going to be pretty fucking weird.
Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, is like the highest degree of that. Like literally wears an outfit one time and throws it away. Like
What?
literally
I
just
would
wearing
love.
an outfit and just
That's what I
chooses
want to
wash
get
it.
to.
Yeah.
I
I feel like
would
that's the
love that.
opposite of what
No.
you're doing right now.
No,
How
I
does
don't
you-
need
how
to
do you
get
evolve
that.
into that?
I think that's an
I don't have
evolution of
unlimited
what Brand
fun.
had.
Yeah,
That's an evolution of what Brand did. He would wear a black
Yeah.
shirt, and instead
And
of
then
needing to
throw
like,
it
put it in
out.
his backpack, he's just done with it, and he has a fresh new one each day.
But then there's
So-
like the
No,
pain of
I used to do that with like the cheaper T-shirts. I used to buy Hanes, and I would buy like 30 of them or something, one a day for every month, and then like every year I would, because they were white. I did the same thing with white shirts as I'm doing with black. But these ones are quite expensive because I bought them off Instagram.
What
So-
brand is that? I'm always on the search for just the clean, like the best fitting, most comfortable, just standard, just.
These
T-shirt.
are like fresh, clean tees. I want to try my next one after I wear these out. I'm going to try the true classic ones because I think those might have a better like arm fit.
Yeah.
But these are fresh, clean. So they're like, I don't know, what are they, like $15 a pop? But I had worked out the Hanes that I was wearing, the tagless Hanes. Bro, I had them down to like, I think they were like $1 a fucking shirt or something. They were so cheap. But like, they don't fit right after a while. So,
Yeah.
you know. But I agree with Carlos. Like, that is where I would love to get to. The same thing. I'd buy 365 of them. Same thing
Yeah.
with shoes, everything. I'd wear them a
You
day.
wear a
and I'd
pair of
throw 'em-
shoes a day and throw them out.
Because if they're white shoes, bro. I tried doing it where I was buying them once every other month, but it got expensive, and then they were getting dirty too quick, and then I was like, no, I really, on white shoes, you need to have like maybe one a week or one a day, and then they'd be crispy white every fucking day.
Had that
And
new
it's like-
smell in them. The
Yeah,
new
bro.
shoe smell.
But like, I couldn't fathom where I'm at in my life trying to build my wealth. I couldn't fathom spending that, so I found a different way to do it.
That seems crazy to me.
I'm down with that Floyd Mayweather thing.
Yeah.
that would be ideal.
Yeah.
Is
There
it
are
always the
videos of him
same
talking
thing, or
about
does he
it.
like do something crazy, like some crazy Gucci suit, and then just throws it out?
I think it's, I don't know, suits. It's like t-shirts. Like he never wears the same t-shirt twice, underwear, socks, anything like that. Maybe like an actual suit, like a blazer. Probably he keeps it. I don't know. But maybe he doesn't. Maybe he gets $5,000 suits and just throws them out afterwards. I don't know.
Look, the thing is where I'm at with it is like all these houses, like I want to have a ranch, all these things. Like even now, like when I travel, I would have to have all of my same exact stuff in my main home in every one of those homes. It's the only way I could exist.
I do dream about that for my office and my multiple home locations. It's the
That'd be
exact
cool.
same.
Exact same thing. It's why I want to fly private and not commercial, because I hate the fact that I can't bring certain things with me when I travel, and it just makes sense that I want to. Like I like to have, again, the more money you have, the more these tendencies that are suppressed when you don't have money, when you're more broke or whatever, more middle or lower class, you can't do those things. And I look up to the sky and I say, one day.
So, what are these crazy things that you can't bring on a commercial plane that you want to bring on a private jet?
One thing is my dog.
Yes.
Oh, you're going to say guns.
And guns would be 100%. I would love to bring my guns with me.
To open my best man speech last week, I think I told John this real quick. To open my best man speech last weekend, just because I live in Florida now, I was like, welcome everybody to the great state of Florida. I was like, quick show of hands here. Who has a concealed firearm on them right now? And I was like, just me and this dude that's a cop. I was like, just me and Zach? Okay, cool. So I got a good,
Did you really have a conceal? Fuck yeah.
No, I didn't. I was joking. I didn't have it on me.
That's more disappointing. Good
That would be
joke.
ratchet. That would be ratchet.
Fucking cool.
No, that
if
was
I had
just
a
a-
fucking gun at a
Yeah.
wedding. Like, just in case shit goes down.
We're all
You know
from
what's funny?
Brooklyn. I feel like I needed
That was
this.
funny. I did not think anybody was going to raise their hand. There's an older gentleman, maybe 50s or 60s, just white 56-year-old male to the left side of the room when I did that joke. He literally looked at me dead in the eye and was like I was like, all right, there's one person with a gun in here. But no, that would be cool to have to fly and you bring whatever you want on there.
Yeah. It's just more convenient stuff. And I like the aspect of things being on my schedule, not on somebody else's. I hate the common people. I just fucking do, bro. I fly, like, especially because every month now I'm flying again, and it's like I just look at these people and I'm like, I get it. I understand why there are people out there who want to Thanos most of the world. I fucking get it. I get it. And if I'm one of them, that's the price I pay. You know what I mean? Oh, that was me banging on the desk. I'm just saying, dude. I know it's fucked up to think, but like there are some people. I'm not the guy to make that decision. I'm not saying I should have that power, but like you get on a flight and you look at some of the people surrounding you and you're like, this is happening right now.
I don't travel much, but I can understand the more you travel, the more you can feel that way. It's interesting, like, traveling is such a you are like specifically flying. I think it's such a unique circumstance because people are like, I'm never gonna see these people again in my
Yeah,
life.
you give a fuck.
Like that, I don't care about any single one of them. All of us are gonna go our separate ways. Like there's a 1 in a million chance I'll meet one of them ever again. So I will just like, you know,
You wear whatever. I don't trust anybody who looks good in an airport. I don't trust that person.
Like
That
suit?
person, yeah, that person is trying to hide. No, I'm not talking about dress nice. I'm talking about done up. You know what I'm saying? Where like I've seen some women and guys who like, come on, they're geared out like they're going to the club tonight. Like everything's designer. They got the jewelry, they got the watches, their hair's done up, they got the
Yeah.
perfect everything, and it's like,
At that point, fly private.
yeah,
And
bro,
Just,
like
just apparently you
what's
have
going
something
on
to
right
do.
now?
You either just
Yeah.
came from doing something, or you have to do something immediately when you get off the plane.
And I know where you were going with that, like in a suit. Like you could tell a business person who's doing like a 1-day trip somewhere because they'll come,
Yeah.
they'll fold up their jacket, they look like they're focused. I'm not talking about that person. I'm talking about the one who's like, I'm going to the airport and I need to put the fuck up. You know, I got to show out for this motherfucker.
Are you a Centurion Lounge guy? Have you guys hit the Centurion Lounge before?
No, for what is that for? Like Amex and stuff?
Yeah.
So no, my wife's able to because our cards are in her name because she opened the accounts. I tried to go in and they said that I was not allowed because I'm not the primary card holder. So that is something we've talked
That's
about
pretty
fixing.
funny.
So I went in and I was like, here's my card. They're like, sir, the main platinum or whatever is held in this person's name. And I was like, that's my wife. Doesn't that fucking like same
No.
last name, bro? Same last No, it doesn't. I'm a peasant. He's packing. I texted my wife and I go, "This is fucked up that I'm the one traveling and you."
Yeah,
get
dude.
the lounge and you don't
If you're
even get to
flying,
use it."
if you're flying every month, I feel like Amex should be able to change that, or maybe she has
Yeah.
to be there in person. But I think you're
don't
able to
know.
bring. Like I've gone
Yeah,
as a guest with other
She
people.
could go. She could bring me as a. It's fine. We're gonna. It's just not a priority. It just wasn't
Yeah.
something that. But yeah, every day I go, every month. I'm like, we haven't done this yet. Speaking of which, I still have to get my pre-check. I have to go down to Tampa to do that, and I forgot to do that. I
Dude,
fucked
pre-check and clear. Man, talk about separating some from civilians. Man, I love that. I love
separating from
clear.
civilians, bro. Like I fucking loved. I fucking hate.
Hashtag separating from civilians. Clear is amazing. There's, all right, sir, come right here. They like scan your eyes. They're like, do this. It's like a little green light that pops up on your head. So legit. They're like, all right, you don't need to take anything out. If you have a gun on you, you're good. Just go.
What?
No, I'm kidding. Not that extent. You don't take out your laptops or iPads
Yeah,
or
I love
take your
that.
shoes off, and you
Well,
just
it's
go right
just
in the line.
stupid, dude.
You have to
The
walk
whole
by the
airport
dog.
shit- Yeah, well, fuck the dog, man. Fucking dog, dude. They don't. Come on.
I got walked by a dog at Orlando
Yeah,
International Airport.
Orlando has them, or Tampa doesn't, or I've never seen one in Tampa, but I've seen.
I haven't
them
seen
in
many
Orlando.
where other than Orlando International
Yeah.
Airport. It was pretty fun. They're
Yeah,
like,
because there's a
walk
lot of
past the
fucking
dog,
criminals.
don't make eye contact, don't stop walking.
Yeah, not pet the
There's
dog.
criminals in Orlando, bro. Just look at Disney. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of people that come here.
I'm just there's some wild stuff, but
There
the
is.
airport bothers me because like they won't every time. It's like there's something different that one airport doesn't give a shit about. It's like where's the consistency? I've been flying here every month into Little Rock, and it's like they're like, well, this isn't a lot. I'm like, bro, you're gonna stop me from like it's a bag of keys. Like I do it every time. There's a bag of keys in there. You guys wouldn't let me take it out before. Like it's just my mobile. What are these? And they have to go through like all 36 of them. They're like,
Oh, because they look like knives
They're-
in the X-ray machine.
fucking weapon in here. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then they got this thing. Look at this. My daughter made me this little keychain holder. The one guy's like, I don't know if this is going to be allowed on. It's a weapon. And I'm like, bro, it's rope.
It's like a
Tied
dog.
up. Yeah, it's actually like a keychain. It's meant to be a dog leash, like a short one for training.
Yeah.
Anyway, I keep it on here because she made it for me. And Tampa doesn't give a shit, but Little Rock, they'll stop me and they'll be like, I don't think this is going to get by. They're probably going to stop you up there because this is considered a weapon. I'm like, the last month it wasn't a problem. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm just letting you know that it's a weapon and they're probably not going to let you
Oh
through.
my gosh.
It's a
It
piece
was
of
like
rope,
pre-checking
bro.
your bag before you get to the
Yeah,
X-ray.
Because they have the guy that organizes it before they shove it down. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, and he's checking my shit out all the time.
Like this looks like it could contain metal
Yeah.
balls in the end, and you can.
Yeah,
knock somebody
that's
out with it.
exactly what the one lady said. The one time they took it all the way down, and she's like, "Is there anything inside of it?" I'm like, "Yeah, more rope." More rope. What are you guys not understanding about this? Did you see metal in the X-ray? Am I gonna fucking banshee this thing on the airplane? Like just. Anyway, it's wild.
Oh man.
So
So you're a fan of the Centurion Lounge, Carlos? Have you been in it?
I have with Dan Schwartz actually.
Oh yes.
It's pretty cool. And then one of the buddies I think I mentioned here was telling me, because I have like an Amex, but it doesn't have that. So I think I'm gonna get the personal platinum one, Amex to have that. Just gonna be cool to travel, and it was cool going there.
Delta, they're with Delta, right? Amex is with the Delta Club, right?
I'm not sure.
The Amex Delta. I was on back in the day when I traveled when my daughter was young, and I used to fly up to see her way back when I was like 20 something. I was on the American Airlines lounge, and it was nice. I flew so much, I was just always in the lounge. It was you feel like you've separated from the peasants.
That's what I'm saying. If we're doing like hashtag like separate from the civilians, like
right, you come in, the chairs are comfy. They're like there's free snacks and shit. Like
oh, dude, no, they have like gourmet like 5-star in the Centurion Lounge.
I've never been in the Centurion.
They have like legit like if you're going to like a $50 a plate dinner, like
for
anything
free.
you want, depending on top of. Well, there's no such thing as a free lunch, but if you have access to the Centurion Lounge, you can go in there not an additional cost if you have it.
Interesting.
But it's cool. They have food, comfy couches. Yeah, Papa Pete, I feel like you finessed a lot more challenging negotiations than you getting
that guy was not letting me in though.
You need to get in there.
I was like, come on, dude.
I wonder if you should be able. Maybe we'll get an update on this in a future episode. But I wonder if you could reach out to Amex and just have yourself like added to the.
No, I think my wife tried that. I need to get my own card and stuff. I think is what it comes down to.
But it's legit, especially if you're traveling every month. Like you could even just work in there. They have like comfy couches, TVs. You can post up, get like some nice.
I might not even fly out. Just like go to the airport and hang out. Like, hey, what's up?
I would go there early, and I like to get to the airport early just in case. And even just like post up, get on the laptop a little bit. Maybe that's a little bit of the lion aspect of me. I like to just be there early.
I was following. I don't know if you guys know who Justin Spalding is. He's kind of like he's a young up and comer. I say young. I guess he's not as young, but anyway, he's like 30 something. He looks like he's been acquiring a lot of units in multifamily up in like North America, but like North Minnesota, Wisconsin, wherever he's at.
The Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, like up north, which for us Floridians is like, he's all
it was a part of Pangea that drifted off west.
He was posting about it, and I think I don't want to mess it up, but like, I think he's at like 1,800. He's at thousands of doors. He's very large. He's built himself and he talks about delayed gratification and like blah, blah, blah. But he was talking about his goal for himself before he gets his private plane is cash flow from his assets of $500K a month. Mm. And I thought I was doing the math. I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense considering how much it costs to like maintain and carry the cost of a plane, especially if you don't want it to be a charter plane. Yeah. Like, it makes sense. And I wouldn't want mine to be a charter plane. I don't want people touching my fucking leather. I want to sit naked on my private airplane as I'm flying out and just be like.
That's the way to do it.
You know what I'm saying? But $500K a month. I mean, so that's kind of like.
How much does a private jet cost per month?
So it just depends. So one of my employees who used to work here, his entire family's in the airline business. So I used to have this convo with him, and he showed me many jets. I have settled on a PC-24 by his recommendation as my first jet. It is great for dirt landings, short landings. You can get in and out of high altitude. It only goes about 2,000 miles on a tank, so it can't get to Hawaii, but anywhere in the continental U.S. shouldn't be a problem to fly on one tank pretty much. But that plane cost about, I don't want to mess this up. Is that one 12 million new? My computer just 12 million new, and then it depends on how many hours you're putting in leg, and I think that's a 2 pilot, so you got 2 pilots, so you have to pay those people an annual salary too.
Oh, they just sit around waiting for you whenever you want to fucking fly?
100%. Unless, of course, if you're a part of a charter, then that's different from my imagination. I would imagine that's different. But yeah, you would have to have a local pilot on salary to go with you, and the bigger the plane, the more you need 2 pilots rated, and then you would need a stewardess if that's what you're doing. So you would have to have staff.
And then you got to put it somewhere.
then so the hangars aren't as expensive, and I'm not as knowledgeable. I mean, Parker told me all of this because his dad was a pilot for Southwest. He has his own airplane, like him and his brother and sister. We're big flying down here, like lake flights. So they live on the lake and they fly off the lake. They have like a water boat.
Oh, nice.
But I think it's only like, depending on the hangar, it's anywhere from like $1,000, couple thousand. It's not that expensive as what you would think to get yourself a hangar. We even have communities down here that have like their own private airport with hangars.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty common for Florida. There's
It's
a lot of
another-
them just in Lakeland down here that has them.
Yeah.
It's another
Um,
Floyd Mayweather video you can add to the queue of him talking. He just can call his pilot anytime.
That's the thing, because they're on salary.
Mhm.
So you have to divide that cost as well. The gas, then there's maintenance, then you have to pay every time you take off and land too for the place that you're taking off and landing. There's fees, and he gave me there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So
Interesting. It's funny, like watching real estate investors. This is like how I know like somebody makes a lot of money when they go from like real estate in their like social media to starting to talk about planes. So like I saw that transition with Bill Allen. Like all of a sudden he's like starting to talk about planes, and now he owns one and flies around. Who's the guy too that we met from Mobile, Alabama?
Jared Irby.
Jared Irby, same thing. Like went from doors, and now I have a plane.
yeah,
and
makes
like
sense.
Tyler Austin, I don't know if he's got his plane yet, but he posts about this plane that he wants.
Maxwell bought himself a little plane that he flies, and his goal is to get bigger.
Yes, that's
so
right.
he
I've
does.
seen the picture with him like New York City. Yeah.
So like, and it makes sense. So like, and that's where Parker was explaining to me, like, you don't need a really big plane or an expensive plane. So like, you get up to the G650 and the G700,
Oh yeah.
right? So you're talking 50, 70, 100, but you could buy a used one. So like a used PC-24, I mean, you might be able to get in one of those things for like $8 million. One of those Falcons that Nick Marietta has, you can scoop up an old one. They're like the Dassault, which is actually manufactured in Little Rock. You can get one of those for a few $1 million used, get it all geared up. But it's the maintenance cost that I would imagine, and I don't know off the top of my head because it's been a while since I've had this conversation, but you're probably talking, an extra $1 million or $2 million a year just in upkeep, maintenance, gas, all the stuff, salaries for everybody.
And when you fly somewhere, so it's like, all right, I would like to take my family to North Carolina. You got to have a place to put the plane while you're in North Carolina.
That's what you're paying for when you land. Like, you have to pay to land.
I guess it could fly back. If I'm like going to be there for 2 weeks, I guess the pilot could fly it back.
You would you have to pay. So you either have the pilot fly back, or you have to pay them a per diem for a place to stay as well. I didn't know any of this, and Parker was explaining it to me because his dad retired from Southwest and now flies for like some rich people, I guess. And it's just
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Apparently, being a pilot is a much needed thing. I did not know that pilots are a rare breed, and they make, like, the experienced ones make good money.
Yeah, if you're not like commercial airlines, I'm sure you can make good money with that.
But a lot of these guys, so Gary Harper, the Sharper Plus or whatever, the process guy, he was on with Ryan Pineda, and they were talking about it, and he said you have to fly, I'm gonna fuck this up, 400. Once you hit a certain amount of hours commercial, it makes sense financially and time wise for you to get a private plane.
Definitely.
He was
saying you the person. Oh, I thought you were talking about pilots again. You're saying the person who
the person buying one. So when because it's cool to buy one just for cachet, right? But like, you need a need for it too. Otherwise,
right? Yeah.
You're just an asshole. So he was saying, and it's on the interview when he was interviewed. He was on Ryan Pineda's Wealthy podcast. So if anyone wants to go back and watch that, I'm pretty sure he said it was like 400 hours or something. That's coming to my mind. And he said, and he's pretty much at that because he's traveling to see all of his clients, and he flies commercial a lot of times. And so I guess for him, it's starting to make sense to buy that plane. I need a shit ton more mobile home parks all over the world, all over the country for a reason. Which is why I want the little small jet to go into those areas, because I could get there and land at smaller airports. A lot of these bigger jets, apparently, I didn't know you can't land at small airports, especially in like Aspen and stuff. Like, you can't land some of the bigger jets in that airport. You have to go to a neighboring one.
Well, here, share the screen and show us your jet so that I can put a picture to.
It's on my. I have me and my wife have a vision board over to my right, and it's on there.
Love that. Is it like Tom Cruise in Top Gun in Maverick? F-16.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's a
Just hanging
Pilatus PC-24.
I'm imagining it has missiles and a machine gun on it if it's Papa P's.
Bro, that would be sweet.
That'd be sick.
Built-in
Just in
gun
case you
safe.
need it. Just in case you need to shoot something down.
I got Tom Cruise flying it. Maverick's flying my jet for me.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Boom, there you go. Let's share your screen. My screen.
That is pretty tiny. I'll get it on the dirt.
So it could go on multi-surface, which I wanted. Is the fact that it doesn't go to like over, I think it's like 2,200 miles is its range.
You got an inside shot? I'm curious.
Let's see. Here's a little interior shot. Range 2,000 nautical miles. There you go. Let's see
Damn,
if
black
we
one
can-
looks good.
I don't know what this is.
I would get it all black.
There's the little interior. 11 plus 1
11?
pilot. So the
Okay.
Pilatus is 1 pilot.
It does definitely look tinier than most like luxury jets I've seen.
Yeah.
but that's not much
So
time.
again, it's not a full on, like, this is not my end jet. This is the jet that if I want to go to one of my parks, I want something that's economical. I want something that I only need 1 pilot. I want something they can get in and out of tiny airports. So I put a lot of thought into like the jet that I fucking wanted.
that
it's
cockpit
pretty
looks
cool.
pretty sweet. It's like
Yeah,
the
that was-
Tesla of planes.
I think
This
it's
is-
sick.
This is like, man. But you can fit all the people you want in it. It's just not
Yeah.
a full-on luxury jet.
I'd be so annoying to that pilot. I'd be like, hey, I want to sit up here and you could just teach me what all these screens do.
What if you just learned how to fly it and you could just like fly yourself to and from Arkansas every month? That would
You
at
could
least
do
save
that.
on like pilot costs.
You could get like a cheaper plane if you're going to do that then. Unless
But
you're
this plane is not that expensive.
$12 million is expensive.
Right, it's really not. Compared to other planes, I put a lot of man hours while I'm dialing into looking at jets. Now, if I wanted, so on my board I have a G650, but knowing that this is made in Little Rock, I kind of switched over to this, the 6X, the Falcon.
We're still looking at a cockpit. I don't
Oh,
know
you're
if
still, yeah, you're still looking. Hang on. Share this tab instead. How about this?
Well, that looks bigger.
So this is the end all on my board. This one is at the 5-year, 5 to 10 year plan. The Pilatus is on the 3-year plan. So this is on the over the 5+ plan. But look at the interior. This is more of what you guys are thinking of a private jet. Yeah.
So why would this be on your longer term plan if you can't?
Because this is global.
Oh, okay. So this is like I don't necessarily need to fly to my parks anymore. Now I'm just kind of have an amazing plane to do whatever the fuck I want with.
This is now I'm going on vacations. This is now, REI Op Center is a global brand. We're a huge software company. I'm now flying wherever the fuck we need to go. In fact, John, I think we need to plan on putting this on the balance sheet.
Yeah. Okay.
But you get the idea. Like, this is when you were picturing it in your head, right? This was the type of plane that you were picturing, per se, of like the luxury accoutrements. There's that big word again, of the different interiors that you pick out. But this is going to be a 2-pilot plus a stewardess, right? You got a bed in there. You got a lounge. Like, this is comparable to a Gulfstream. Sorry, a Gulfstream 650. They have the 6 and they have a 8X as well.
What's the president fly on? Gulfstream?
Trump?
No, just like any. I'd assume
Boeing.
like what is like Air Force?
Yeah,
One?
they're on a Boeing of some variation. Trump has his own Boeing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I wouldn't be.
Remember
surprised.
he put like "Make America Great" on it.
Fucking Trump's a man. But yeah, I love just saying that because I'm pissing people off.
He would go and he'd just like hold rallies at the airport with his giant Boeing behind him.
And of course I'm gonna have my
your
my Air
detail.
Force. Yeah, this is just in case anyone
That's what
wants
you
to
need.
fuck around.
Oh my god.
Anyway, that cockpit.
Oh, that looks
Yeah, that
nice.
was pretty sweet too. But
Where
they're
joystick?
right
Do you
here.
see it?
Why
It's
with
on
your
the left.
eyeballs?
No, the joystick's there.
Why is it not in the middle? Isn't that the throttle over there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How
dude.
much do we think that this costs?
Oh, this is a fun game.
Is that the fighter jet?
No.
Which one
No,
is that one? I'm not sure by the inside.
This is the one that has like the lounge and the bed and the kitchen in it. $40
$25
million.
Wow, that was pretty.
You don't know how much it is?
No, I do, but that was pretty spot on. 46. 46
Hey!
Yeah, John wins.
I was surprised that you popped up to that. Yeah, it's like 46, 47 million. Now, it's a 47 million. It could go up to 5,500 nautical miles. So it pretty much does whatever you want. Now, the annual cost of running this. So this is a good thing for you. Let's take a look here. Here we go, guys. I'm sharing the annual, but this fucking episode went way off fucking topic. Here's your annual budget for flying this thing at 200 hours. So we're looking, let's just go to the high end and say you're looking at like $3 million, $3 million a year, right? Or should we say 3.5 because I want to get fancy with it?
I
So
guess
you're looking
if
at-
you're rich enough to afford a $46 million
But think-
plane, this annual budget is like whatever.
But listen. Here you go. Ready? Do the math backwards. That's what, $290,000 a month. So Justin was saying he wants $500,000 or like $500,000 a month in cash flow. 50% of that budget is going to be spent, and I'm not sure what plane he's getting, obviously. But this is the reason why you have to have that passive cash flow and not just you may be able to afford because you're in real estate, but you got to have that monthly nut too.
Yeah.
And this includes everything too: the crew, the training, jet management, hangar. This includes your hangar cost. So there's your hangar cost right here, $84,000. So what is that? $6,000, $7,000 a month. And that's all going to be based on location too. So somewhere like Lakeland, I bet you at the Lakeland Linder Airport, I could get a pretty.
I don't know. They might be competing for Publix employees over there.
That's true.
Interesting. Well, hey, we learned something today about jets.
Let's do it.
Everybody can understand what the top real estate investors in the United States are aiming towards and what it's going to cost them.
Love it.
Let's look at the Gulfstream G700 real quick. Boom. So this is about the same thing. So for a large plane like this, you're looking at $2 to $3.5 million to operate this thing annually at 200 hours per year in the sky. And if you double it, just double it.
Yeah. Interesting.
But anyway, that's why I want to do the Pilatus initially. It'll make more sense for me. It'll be great. Fits everyone I need inside there. I can bring my dog with me. And I can bring my mobile home park keys without anybody harassing me.
Yeah.
Do you get checked for anything on if you own a plane? Like, do they check for anything on the plane?
I feel like at that point they don't care what you do. I don't know the answer to that, but I feel like
I would feel like after 9/11, like people
the
can
law.
use
Above the law.
use a jet as a weapon. Shouldn't they care a little bit?
I'm sure you still have to do a manifest and a flight plan, and you have to log where you're going and check in and out of the tower, all these things. So it's not like you just secretly get in and fly off and nobody knows. So yeah, I'm sure they know who's up in the sky, but do they come to your plane and check? I don't, unless they have a reason. I feel as if the answer is
What about the pilot load?
Parker would be the guy to ask because he knows everything, right? He knew everything about. I just would sit here and I'd yell stuff across the office, and he would just be like, "Answer. Here's your answer." That's how I picked the planes because he helped me pick the ideal plane for my ideal situation.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's a hashtag goal.
Hashtag goal. Hey, it's important to have goals. I like to have a vision board. That's something.
It is. I do love the vision
As a
board.
lion as I am, I don't have that. That's probably something I need to work on.
I think like a vision board is more of a manifestation of a fox.
Fox? A wolf? A wolf fox? Fox wolf?
Yeah, it was very easy for my wife and I to do this versus like writing it down. Like we literally went old school status of like, cutting out pictures instead of a magazine. We found out pictures online, cut them out, boom, put our it's all for our family. So we have like our family values, our family mission statement, all that stuff up there, and we have it right over here in the office. So I
love that
all the time, staring at it.
Just staring at it, bro. Another thing I was gonna say, a great book, John, that I recommend that I got recommended. Alex Casada said he did this. It's called The Millionaire Course. James Allen is the author. It's an old book.
He's I think that's the name. Course. He has like wealth books like that.
Yeah, he has Visionary Business is another one he's written. It's a great book because it's not a book. It's an actual course. Like you actually have to do. So at first I sat down thinking I'm just going to read through it, right? Just like, let me knock this book out. And then I read like the first chapter. I'm like, wait a second. Like I actually have to like reread this, sit down. So I've been working on it and it's really helped line out like the vision. Because you have to write for every goal you have to write a business plan for it, a 1-page business plan.
Oh, interesting.
So you actually have to write out how you're going to achieve this and how it all ties together.
Good book for lions.
I think way to pull it together, Carlos.
Yeah.
But like it asked me what my purpose and vocation was, and I still don't know.
Interesting.
I have no idea. I am stuck at that part of the book. I have no idea what my purpose and my vocation is.
I will check that book out. Just need to like have less meetings in my day so I can read. But
again, you're not reading. It's not like you're going to need an hour of your day. It's literally like you're going to read a couple pages, and it's like, okay, now sit down
and do this.
And he even tells you in the book, he's like, you're not going to do this all at once. You're going to think about it, mull it over, come back, scratch something off, refix it as you dwell on it. And I've done that. I've literally gone back, readjusted my goals. I'm like, wait a second. So it's something that you're constantly.
Yeah.
So it's not something that's going to take a lot of your time per se to do it. That's required of you if you're very busy. It's something that you're going to be constantly thinking about, though, on your runs or walks or workouts, stuff like that, when you're very introspective. Like when Carlos is doing his Zen garden and stuff, like he'd be thinking about it.
Playing the steel tongue drum.
I want one of those things.
A steel tongue drum's sick. Let me grab it real quick. Not the sound healing. That's like I have a steel tongue, not the sound healing that you see a lot of people have.
It's shaped like a shell, like a.
Yeah.
The steel tongue is. Let me grab it really quick.
Oh fuck! What is this, bro?
We brought it a few times. I mean, it's chill. It's not a sound.
I think I know what you're talking about because I wanted to get one.
Oh, I'll show you. I'll be right back.
Because I like, of course, very Fox. Like I like the idea.
My next question is going to be: at what point in the day does Carlos use this?
I know.
Right before my sales call, I play a little melody.
That's a great question. So I rarely bring it out.
That's exactly the one I was thinking of that I've seen on Instagram all the time.
I rarely bring it out. So that's a great question, John. When do I play it? I have it just in my. I have like a big, almost like it looks like a tic-tac-toe board that I have random stuff. Like 4 of it is just filled with books. It's like a bookshelf / just like random stuff.
Yeah.
So I have it in there. And just because I feel like it's like good for your brain, like I'll literally just sometimes walk by and just hit like a couple.
Anyway, I'm
there you go.
Baby shark.
I knew that sounded familiar. I was like, what the fuck is this? Oh man, my daughter would love this.
That thing's pretty cool. I like that sound.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
Where'd you get that?
My former roommate got it for me. He's actually like a really popular musician in Maryland, and his mom got it for him last Christmas. And I just had like a drawing to it like immediately when I was in Baltimore, and I just started playing it like every day. And then he sent me one when I moved to Miami.
What is it called?
Oh, that's fun.
Steel tongue drum.
Tongue?
Yeah.
As in like T-O, like human tongue?
Yep.
I didn't know how to exactly spell that.
You got to come up with the Let's Talk Real Estate theme song now and that.
I should.
No,
I love it.
Why the fuck is this one Why are they so expensive?
They're so cool. The sound is very cool, but there's also the sound like healing bowls. So, like yoga
Yeah.
people I know will have like a thing where you spin it around in a circle.
Yeah. I've
Why
seen
are
that.
Depending on
some of
that.
these? Why are some of these on Amazon for $3,000?
They must sound majestic. If you just
know.
play it, all your problems will go away.
No, but some of them are like, I mean, they're expensive, but there's some that are $100, $50, but like there's some that go way up there in price.
Yeah, this was probably 50 or 100.
That's really
Carlos,
cool.
Carlos doesn't know, but he's really sitting on a $3,000 drum.
That would be sick.
And
Yeah,
with
this
the
thing-
musical notes
Yeah,
of the drum.
but yeah,
That and this
I
room.
rarely take her out. I'll literally like, go by my bookshelf and I'll just hit like a couple keys just to kind of get like a frequency in my brain. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm good.
Life is great.
It's like a hit of crack. He's just like,
Yeah, it's like the same end goal, I guess. A little
Yeah.
dopamine,
yeah.
but a lot healthier, a lot more sustainable
Yeah,
than crack. I assume.
You're not going to find yourself on the street corner
Yeah, exactly.
begging people.
Who's got
Yeah.
pallets? Where are the steel tongue drum pallets? Or whatever those things are called.
Well, this was a fun episode.
It was.
I like that we brought most of this back to real estate. Hey, I enjoyed your lion, fox, bear.
Yeah, I know we went way
No.
off topic. I didn't know.
What was the
that
fourth
bringing,
animal?
Cheetah. Bear.
Cheetah.
I didn't know that bringing that up, which I thought was just going to be a quick knowledge bomb, was going to take the direction of the show in all the way to airplanes.
That's a good, fun
and
discussion.
drones.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
that. That was good. We gotta go find our cheetah. If you want to go on a vacation, you don't care where, you're just gonna have fun and not choose anything, please submit your application to Let's Talk Real Estate. We need a cheetah.
Yeah, we do need a cheetah. We need a cheetah. We would
All right,
definitely
guys.
have our clips and everything on our YouTube channel on point if we have.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
We would.
All right, guys. See you next week.
See you next week, guys. Peace.